Which episode of The Outer Limits?
Do you have a memory of that? You did so much television.
Because I was Richard Nye, who used to be married to Greer Garson.
Wow.
Very briefly, was in it. And he played a man who had gills, actual gills on his neck. So he was a sort of a aquatic throwback of some kind. So it was weird. And MacDonald Carey was in it,
Oh,
These
sure.
were good shows.
MacDonald
These were
Carey.
good shows. Yeah, good shows.
Do you remember making the big circus with Victor Mature and Red Buttons?
I don't think I was in that.
Oh, okay.
Cross that out.
Okay. My information is bad. How about Some Came Running with Frank and Dino and Shirley MacLaine, who you would go on to work with so memorably in
Yes. Well,
Evening Star?
See, I'd already worked for Vincente Minnelli on Lust for Life. So now, once again, they needed a nun. So now I'm a nun again.
So you specialized in playing nuns.
And mothers. So I go in, and the one scene, Dean Martin is sitting up in the hospital with his cowboy hat on or something, and he's teaching the nun how to play poker. So he's teaching me to play poker. Well, then Frank Sinatra comes in. He's not even in the scene. And he comes in the scene, and he said to Dean Martin, "Oh, great. I've never met a nun before. This is great." So I was so flustered by them that I just got out of there fast,
Gilbert brings up Outer Limits. You did so much television, so much great television. I mean, Zane Grey Theater and Thriller, Karloff Show.
Oh, geez.
The Fugitive. I think Ed Platt was in that Outer Limits episode, by the way. Route 66, Rawhide, The Detectives, Felony Squad, The Untouchables. Anything stand out?
All of them are good. All of them are good. Yeah, because a lot of them were, and I was a character actress, and they were all very good character roles. Very good character roles, and you go on location, So,
do you remember? Go ahead.
Very serious. I was a very serious actress until Happy Days came along, I never did comedy before.
Well, I should also say that in the book, your goal was the theater. Your goal was the legitimate stage. And there's one line in the book where you say, I didn't even want to do movies, let alone television.
No. I wanted to go to do the theater in New York on Broadway. And I did go with José Ferrer.
Yeah, in 1958, you made it to Broadway.
Now that brings up a story. So, any stories about José Ferrer?
I was crazy about him, but you had to keep moving. You had to move fast, especially
fast hands, huh?
Especially backstage in the dark, So it was nip and tuck. If he ever did catch me, sometimes he'd say, "Listen, do you think your husband could play tennis on the weekend?" I would think, "Oh God," but I thought he was swell. I did.
Terrific actor.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
and a presence, a great presence in the room. Wonderful.
And you came back to Broadway, if I have this right, 30 years later to do Arsenic and Old Lace? Because this was 58 that you did the play with José Ferrer.
I did, with Gene Stapleton.
Yes, we've talked about that show. I think Abe Vigoda was in that cast, was he?
Abe was in it, yeah. Abe, I love Abe. Yeah, it was, and we were on a national tour. That's something I had never, ever done, ever. Not only I'd never been on Broadway, but to be on a national tour, you'd go and you'd spend a month in each big city.
Gilbert, guess who else was in that cast?
Oh, who?
Bill Hickey.
Wow.
He was in New York, and that's what Abe Vigoda replaced him.
Oh, okay.
But who was on it was Larry Storch.
Larry Storch.
And he became
Larry Storch was Einstein. He was in the Peter Lorre.
My great pal. In fact, I just talked to him last week.
Oh, you're friends with Larry.
Yes,
we
he
adore
lives in New
him.
York.
We had him on the
wonderful
podcast.
chat.
He just had a birthday.
I know it. He's just wonderful.
He was one of the first people we talked to on this show, Marion, back in 2014. Yeah, we adore him.
And I think it was Larry Storch who was friends with Tony Curtis.
He's in Operation Petticoat.
Yeah. And Larry Storch advised Tony Curtis, out of being a good friend, that he shouldn't try to pursue an acting career.
Oh, God. Boy,
Isn't he the best guy?
We had the best fun together, honest to God. Yeah.
Yeah. Gilbert spoke at Abe's service.
Did you?
Yeah, he eulogized in a funny way.
His daughter wanted me to speak, and I just kept doing jokes about how old he was and everything. I was a big hit at the funeral.
Well, you remember the joke about Abe, Marion, was that he had died before so many times.